just been hacked. Could be worse than Snowden.
Facial recognition got a hit.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Why would he come back now?
There's a demonstration in front of the Greek Parliament building. I think she'll use it as cover.
They tracked you. We gotta move.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. How are you? My name is Christy Lemire. That is Matt Atchity. Are you aware that there is a fourth Jason Bourne movie? Actually, like a fifth,
well,
right?
It's a fifth Bourne movie, but this is the fourth one with actual Jason Bourne in it.
Do we count the one with
The
Jeremy
Bourne Legacy?
Renner?
With Hawkeye?
Bourne adjacent. So please describe to me what Jason Bourne's about.
All right. Bear with me. This is really different, okay? This is much, much different than we've seen out of a Bourne movie before. There is a guy who is this former special ops guy who has a spotty memory and is trying to figure out what happened in his past. And as part of that, he's got to take down a big black ops organization run by the CIA, like he's done 3 times before. Let's watch the trailer.
This is Jason Bourne.
I need to talk. 32 kills. People are safer because of what you did. You're never going to find any peace. Not till you admit to yourself who you really are.
So yeah, I was pretty satisfied with Bourne Ultimatum. That
Yeah,
last Bourne,
right.
the last Matt Damon Bourne
Right.
was really good.
Right, and
Actually,
he says he remembers everything.
right, I remember everything. Until he finds there's still stuff in his brain.
Exactly. That he
So-
doesn't remember.
It is a retread of stuff we've seen before, but it's also like connective and transitional, and it requires that you have knowledge of previous Bourne movies. I would say, if this is your first Bourne movie, you're going to be really confused. Like when Julia Stiles shows up, who's Julia Stiles? If you don't know, you're going to be a little lost. So I would say this requires knowledge of previous films, and yet doesn't feel like a satisfying, self-contained Bourne film. It feels like it's connecting to the next, series of movies in the franchise. And so it feels a
Sort
little unsatisfying in that regard.
Yeah, it felt too much like the same story we've seen before, right? Like, as I was kind of sarcastically talking about, like, yet again, like, Jason Bourne's got holes in his memory, and he's trying to take down, this time it's not Treadstone, this time it's Iron Hand, and there's some other black ops situation that he's working on, that he's up against, right? And there are moments in it where the spycraft makes some sense, and then there's moments where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like
What can't he do? Why would you question his abilities?
Well, but there's things where you see him do some stuff and you think like, come on, man, you're Jason Bourne. You should know better than this. And it just feels a little slapdash. It's
like walking around in the open?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, look, it's fine, right? The action is okay. It's that, Paul Greengrass shaky cam that I don't like.
I was thinking about you during that. I know that's like your least favorite thing ever, and that's Paul Greengrass's bread and butter.
Yeah, I know. Look, like, if you want to make the camera one of the characters in an action scene, fine.
At the same time, though, it has that cool Paul Greengrassy thing where there's a fight scene and they know enough to let the gnats provide the rhythm, right? So, like, there's a scene in the alley where he and Vincent Cassell are beating the shit out of each other, and what they find and just the thumping and the cadence of their kicking and their punching, like time stops, and it's just that, and Paul Greengrass does that very well, I would say.
He does do that. I will say he gets away from some of the stuff he does really well, though, because his first couple of Bourne movies are really gritty and similar to what we had seen with the first Bourne, not the original, but the first Bourne movie.
Doug Liman did the first one,
Doug Liman. Like, they're these gritty, not bombastic, not overly staged. Like, they feel tight and make use of like what's in the environment. And famously, there's the one where Bourne kills the guy with the magazine, and right, like there's good stuff in there. This one, like that final chase scene, gets into like Fast and Furious territory. Like as the car chase
There's a couple car
There,
chases.
you're right, but the last car chase is so over the top. It's a little like, come on.
In Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
and
was so stressed out driving home from the movie after seeing
it was just
But it was
so.
a cool use of Vegas. It's a different way than we usually
It
see
was,
Vegas,
but it
I
was
would
just,
say.
it was so over the top. And like, I expected the cars to start flying at any minute. But
It's in the trailer, you guys. The thing we're referencing is in the trailer with the SWAT truck.
yeah, I'm not wild about this one. I thought it was okay. It kind of did what it needed to do, and it's fine. But there's not a lot that, the thing is, you come into a fourth movie like this, and you're like, okay, I'm ready. I want to see maybe something different. Maybe I want to see a new adventure. And yeah, it is kind of retreading that same material it's done before, as well as setting up for new ones. But some of the characters I think are a little inconsistent. Like Vikander's character,
Alicia Vikander, she's
yeah,
everywhere.
She's this up and coming like CIA analyst that works in the kind of cyber division, and the way her character acts by the end, like I don't think you see a lot of hints of that early on.
You don't. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff.
Right? It just feels a little
There's
inconsistent.
my film criticism
like,
for you.
It feels a little inconsistent, as if they're going one way towards the end, and then all of a sudden they kind of go in a completely different direction. And you think it kind of just takes a left turn out of nowhere, and it's a little frustrating because, like, okay, clearly they are setting this up for more, but even then, like, I don't know that the script actually sets itself up to do more very effectively. So, the first couple of Bourne movies have this internal logic, and they're nice and tight, and they work really well. And this one, it's just, there's too many different threads. The other thing is all of this discussion about cyber terrorism and just not cyber, but
privacy
and
one
surveillance.
of the issues
Like,
here.
it feels like a bunch of guys in their late 50s decided, oh, that's a thing on everybody's mind. We got to write a script
be
about
relevant.
this. And
But think about it. This must have been written like years ago.
Yeah,
This isn't
and
like
it
was
feels
written
like-
last week. But
right.
It was written like years ago. But it's still an issue. It's not like it's irrelevant now. The issue of cyber privacy, whatever.
it's not.
Right.
It is relevant,
Surveillance.
but it feels like they're talking about the world 3 years ago, and the privacy is a different thing, or the issues around privacy are a little bit different now. So it feels. I mean, here's the thing: like, it feels dated. That's really the issue,
Already.
is it feels dated already.
That's how fast the internet works.
Exactly.
I would say Matt Damon is really great in this, and it's easy to overlook how tough this role is because a lot of it is largely wordless. I mean, he's a stoic character. He's not emotive. He doesn't really understand himself still, even though he's constantly learning more. And so a lot of it is physical, and a lot of it is him just thinking and working and figuring things out, and it's demanding in a way that is not showy, and he's good at that. Yes, the relationship between him and Alicia Vikander is a bit sketchy.
Right.
But it was
Yeah, and Tommy Lee
still
Jones.
good though. The action is still good, and the acting is good. Like it's all good.
It's fine.
fine.
Like, Tommy Lee Jones is
He's
good.
Tommy Lee Jones.
He's reliable, and he's Tommy Lee Jones, and he's good, and he can deliver 2 words, and you can see, it's the equivalent of somebody else speaking a paragraph. It's fine.
Riz Ahmed
like
is
there's-
good as the billionaire of. Is
Right.
it like Google?
I-
It's kind of like Google, and it has apps.
Right.
He was He was Jake Gyllenhaal's photographer, like helper,
Oh, yeah.
stringer helper in
Right.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
And he's really good in this, and very
Yeah.
believable in that, like kind of young, arrogant, slick cyber tech genius
Right.
way. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was good.
So what's your
Everyone's
number?
good at it. I'm saying 6. I'm a little higher on this than you are.
A little.
It's good. It's good, but we've seen it before.
Right.
Yes.
I would say it's fine. It's not. I wouldn't. It's competently made, and it just feels a little dated. Partly because of the way it's talking about these privacy issues, which feel a couple years
It's
ago.
about dial-up.
And exactly, and the story feels a little dated because we've seen this 3 times before. So I give it a 5.5.
All right, so our average is a 5.8, and where is it?
Right around there, 58%. It's right around 58-60% on the tomato meter. So it's going back and forth, fresh and rotten.
You could do worse. You could do better.
You could do worse.
Bye.